several years ago, I learned how to make a connection with the audience. And it's a simple thing you can do, any speech you want. Requires a few changes. And today you're going to learn about that simple way to make that audience connection. You're going to find out what most speakers do wrong, how you can avoid making that mistake. And you find out a few other things along the way. Right now you might be wondering, Tim, were you always interested in making this connection with your audience? No. 10 years ago when I joined Toastmasters, I just wanted to become a better speaker. Right? You join Toastmasters to become a better speaker? Yeah. You're thinking about joining Toastmasters to become a better speaker? You know somebody who joined Toastmasters to become a better speaker? Exactly. Wanted to become a better speaker. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say most people join Toastmasters become a better speaker. So I wanted to become a better speaker, so I took a look at the Confident Communication Manual. You heard of this? You know what this is? If you've been in Toastmasters for pretty much any length of time, you probably know the Confident Communication Manual, because it's the first manual you get when you join Toastmasters. If you have been in Toastmasters for any length of time, you don't know what the Confident Communication Manual is, check your mail. There's a surprise waiting for you. So I took a look at the Confident Communication Manual. Started taking a look at the first project is called the Icebreaker. If you don't know the Confident Communication Manual, it's simply a manual sifted through 10 basic projects. Each project a different speech, each speech develops a different skill. So I took a look at the first project called the Icebreaker. Read all the way through it and said, talk about yourself. I thought, great, I can do that. I can talk about myself for 4 to 6 minutes. I've really been a braggy kind of person. I thought, okay, I can do this. 4 to 6 minutes, I'm going to go up there. So, prepared, got ready, big day arrived, came up, I spoke for 4 minutes, 1 second, and I was done. And I felt great. Well, great. You know that great feeling you get when you finish your speech? Remember all the way back? Yeah. Well, great. So Tess, I want to do the next speech. So the next speech is called Organize Your Speech. So I take a look at the manual, start reading through it. And it talks a lot about organization, but it doesn't tell me what to talk about. So I think, okay, well, talked about myself the first speech, so I'll just talk about myself again. Right? Just talk about myself. Let's go up there and just talk about myself. I did that, went through, felt great. Third speech, get to the point, read all the way through. Again, a lot of great stuff on getting to the point, but you know, there was nothing really there about what to talk about. So I thought, well, I've been talking about myself all along. I'm just going to keep on doing that. It's going to become the Tim Hour, the me show. And I just kept doing it all the way through 10 speeches, talking about myself, the great things I'm doing, exciting things going on in my life, all about me. And I did that for years and loved it. Several years ago, I came to a Toastmaster club, not this one, different one. There was a guy there, Bob. I liked Bob because Bob's a professional speaker. He really knew what he was talking about, you know? When I heard talk to Bob, I always learned something about it. I was excited because Bob was going to be there. So I went all the way through, gave my speech. I talked for 5 to 7 minutes now, talking about being a secretary. Talked about booking planes, talked about changing meetings, that type of thing. Finished the whole speech, finished the whole meeting, went over to Bob and said, Bob, what did you think of my speech? Bob said, Tim, you talked for 5 to 7 minutes about a subject nobody really cares about. I said, Bob, that's the way Toastmasters works. I get up there and I talk about something nobody else cares about, but you have to listen and then you have to clap. And then somebody else gets up and talks about something I don't care about, and I have to listen and I have to clap. That's how Toastmasters works. Bob said, Tim, you know, in the real world, they've got this thing called opening speeches. They call them you get up there and do workshops. Keynote speeches, thank you. Bob wasn't as smart as you. Keynote speeches, not only doesn't the audience have to clap, they don't like it, they can walk right out on you. Never thought about that, Bob. What do I do? Right there, Bob told me the secret of making that connection with the audience. He said, Tim, use the you. You're out there on stage, use the word you to connect in with your audience. And he went on to explain a little bit more about what happens. Most speakers, when they start out speaking, start talking about themselves, the things they know. Maybe you did this. When you started out speaking, you talk about yourself, the things you know, the things you're interested in. And as you're going through your speeches, and you go through your speaking year after year, you just keep talking about yourselves and the things you like and the things you're interested in, right? Right? As most speakers do. The thing that happens is you become very, very good about talking about yourself, something else happens. You didn't plan for it to happen, you don't want it to happen, but it happens nevertheless. The more you focus on talking about yourself, the better you get at ignoring your audience. And something else happens. The better you get at ignoring your audience, the better your audience gets at ignoring you. Pretty soon, it's like there's this wall between you. And you're talking about yourself and the things that interest you, and here I am, the me show. You aren't just thinking, I don't care, it doesn't matter to me, it doesn't matter. I can't forget it. You ever felt that as a speaker, you're not connecting with the audience? Ever felt that in the audience? You just didn't connect with the speaker? It's all about them, and you're thinking, hey, what about me out here? Why am I near? Think about it this way. What's the one word speakers most like to use? One letter. I. I. John, prize. Thank you. Just the way you practice. I. Right. What's the word speakers like to use almost as often as I is two letters, first letter W.
We.
We. Thank you, Peggy. Bonus. Ding, 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 ding. Great job. We. Have you heard these speeches? We need to make a difference. We need to make change. We all know this is wrong. We all know the right way to do things. Have you ever thought, well, I don't know, we knows, but I don't care. I'm not into it. Forget it. Not me. Forget it. No how. No way. You felt like that? Instead, use the you. Connect in with your audience. Use the word you. Have you ever? Did you ever? Could you ever? Have you ever gotten a really awful present? How would you like that a green spoon? Right now. Have you ever joined a new club and wondered, what am I supposed to do now? Use the you. Once you use the you to start making that audience connection, then things get simpler up here on stage. All right, just to go over things, all the things you learned today. Challenge about being a speaker is, what do you talk about? You're up there. And it's tempting to talk about yourself, things that interest you. But as you do that, you become very good about talking about yourself, become very good about talking about yourself, very good at ignoring your audience. Better you get at ignoring your audience, better your audience gets at ignoring you. So instead, use the you. Break down that barrier. Break it down, make that audience connection. Now, you might be thinking, Tim, I don't want to use the you. I like talking about myself. I'm good at it. I've been doing it for years. I'm not going to stop now. Not because you say so. That I say, fine. Don't care about your audience. Ignore your audience. It doesn't matter if your audience remembers your message. Ignore your audience. What you have to say is not important, just ignore your audience. But if you want to make that deep audience connection, use the you. Want your audience to remember what you have to say, use the you. If you want to have your audience remember what you say for days, months, weeks, years afterwards, use the you. And once you use the you, you discover you're large and in charge up here. You've got that simple audience connection by making that one simple, easy change. One-step process. Change your eyes, we's to you's. And you start doing that, you'll notice your audience starts to enjoy it. You start to enjoy it, start having a good time. As your audience starts to have a good time, you'll find out you're having a better time up here. You're enjoying the process, you're enjoying being up in front of things. All that works together. Everybody starts to enjoy the experience. It's just fantastic on stage. Covered a lot of things today. Don't expect to remember everything. If you forget everything I said, just remember this one thing. The very next speech that you do, always remember, use the you.